Hello, Mark Donegan, self-healing practitioner and educator, ordained minister, aka Goldilocks. Um, Market Day and Pumpkin Fest. Pumpkin Fest, one of the biggest events in Ukiah. They outdid themselves this year, and after COVID, last year was the first year, and it was the first year that I've ever seen it. This year they did much better, and market almost didn't happen. They pushed us off to the side. And I'm jumping on here, Market Day Pumpkin Fest. I ran into my out of all the dozens of people that I ran into, more family, extended family I had even forgotten about. I ran into my Tai Chi teacher, Myra, and she gave me a session right there on the street as usual, in the middle of Pumpkin Fest and farmers market. And it was interesting because I took my Tai Chi stance right away with her. And what she'll do is she will like discreetly come up and bump me or bump you and push you on your shoulder or your stomach or something to see where you move at. And so she started to do that to me. She started to actually correct my posture like she usually does. Then she stopped. And what we talked about instead of we did some more. She showed me a new movement for me. But what we talked about more was living with pain and living with injury and illness. And because she's 80 years old, she's got her own stuff. So when we talk about my knee needing replacement or my hip needing replacement, she understands that because she's got the same issues and she walks 10 miles a day. So, anyways, it was interesting because I almost punched this other dude out. um, Stepped up into my face telling me I could fix myself through my stomach germs. And then, firstly, I told the dude, I was very aware of them. I almost died of C. diff a few years ago. Um, Brought myself through that on my own diet, not from the doctors. And dude stepped up into my face. So, I leaned up into his. Said what I had to say and turned around and walked away. Um, and it's interesting because I thought about it and um, yeah, my friend was no happier with him for that than I was. But the guy, I've talked to him. He's my age, and he wants to be a teacher. He wants to know it all and know things. And he's fought life and death battles. I've talked to him. I know what he's had. He's had systemic illnesses, cancers, and it's like a child finding the hammer and wanting to nail everything. I run into this so often, just not so people with that age. Usually it's 20-year-olds that have gone to massage school and think they know it all, or whatever one technique they learn, they think they know it all. The one thing I always check about the people I work with and doctors and things like that is, are they willing to be open and learn? And so, anyways, this guy, like a little kid, thinks his way is going to fix everything and everybody. And Myra, with as much as she knows, realized that with me, she'd come to an end. She actually called me a word I don't even want to repeat, but it was the highest honor you could ever say to somebody from somebody like her. But we were talking about how I was doing life and handling my pain right now and waiting for this surgery. And, surgery that she is not totally agreeable with, but she understands injury is injury. And that's exactly what she said to me, which this other guy didn't seem to understand. Systemic illnesses and injuries are two different birds. I even said to him, I said, my stomach, when you fix somebody's stomach turns, is that going to fix their broken arm? It's just like, it stunned him that I even said that. And he looked at me, he says, do you have a broken arm? I said, no, I have a fucking broken spine. You can't fucking look in there and see it's broke, just like a fucking broken arm, right? It really is. It's not like a broken arm. It's bone to bone on that nerve. I have such an acute awareness of it. And it's a good thing. That's what I was telling Myra. And that's why she called me that word, because I said, it's what makes life fun is working with my pain. And it really is, because it is so changeable. Every morning I go out and do basically not the same routine. It's always a little different, and I change and move to my, how stiff I am. But I always go out there and move, and I always am different when I'm done. And the other thing is when I do Topotment, which I do a high level Topotment, and it is very detoxifying, very circulatory to the entire body, like nothing that you've ever experienced. Um, when I do that, because it takes some time and energy, it does take time. It takes a half hour at least. I've been gauging what it takes for the body to transform from a light tap to a heart, which is where you want to end, where I end up doing this on my body with knuckles. I've been using a lot of different techniques. Like I've been loosening my bones and my fingers for a couple of years now. Not every day, but I I can feel the softness of the bones that I've gained by tapoting on them, you know, 3 or 4 times a week for 5-10 minutes, if not every day. It's kind of an everyday thing because without the hands being soft, they don't tapote right to the body, and you can feel the vibration working up in your body and going around. At least if you do it like I do for half an hour, which I realize a lot of people don't, which is a shame. It's an incredible technique. Half an hour, your body will just go boom, you know? So, I don't know. Dude with the cancer should have tried that. Maybe he'd be a believer in movement. But that's where my road, that was kind of a her ending thing. It has been with everybody I talked to this week. Movement's medicine, movement is life. And so, yeah, I made it to market, and I'm sore as frick. And say another thing I said to Myra, I said, I'm here now. It doesn't matter that I have to go home and stay home, and I can't go out the rest of the night with everybody else. I was there this morning, and that's what counted. I was right before I left. I saw a post of somebody else that was disabled going to an event, going, an hour would be nice, 2 hours would be even better. Just hours at a time. And so many people don't appreciate their body's ability to go all day long until it can't go all day long. That's a very interesting thing. Because I can definitely get mine to go all day long, as broken as it is. It just has to be a good day, a right day. I have to work up towards it. I realize now that market day, and even though I'm not working, I'm still trying to go down there and make it my social day. And it's taken a lot of flipping effort. So, interesting challenges and awesome flipping day. Like I said, if I wanted to, I could, go 2 blocks back down there. It's a freaking carnival. But I'm going to sit here and play some computer games, let my body relax and rest. I'm learning that too, to burn my fuse, but then in the afternoon, towards evening, let my nervous system calm down. Hey, buddy, I'm talking about nervous system and calming it down. It's, been really in the forefront of my mind lately with my spine being constantly under pressure. It's like the more caffeine I drink, the more wired it is, the worse my pain is. So it's just like been one of those things I'm working on. Yeah, it's just one of those things you work on. Less caffeine. Start your day slow. Burn your fuse hard so you get your endorphins going. I was just talking to somebody today about endorphins. Endorphins are so important to burn. Yeah. Nicotine, yeah. Oh man, I'm so hard back on the nicotine. It's crazy. I'm actually like in a little nicotine cult. Me and my buddy D, or Kevin, as people know him, ex-marijuana farmer, now food farmer, but ex-tobacco farmer from the South. And so he grows his own tobacco, and man, that shit is bomb hallucinogenic stuff, man. It's that's what we do after every market. We smoke spliffs, and they're from Kevin's farm, and it's gotten to be a little thing now. There's a little crew of us waiting for Kevin to smoke his frickin' spliffs. Oh man, today was hilarious because I was holding the spliff down while they were working their booths. I was over in the parking lot holding the spliff down. I was standing there staring at like six cops. There was a cop booth. And they were just dying that I was doing it because they were like ducking down behind the car to smoke it. And I was the one holding it most of the time, just standing there smoking and looking at the cops who I already fucked with. I was standing there with my niece and I was going, man, look at all them cops over there. I gotta go fuck with them. And she goes, Uncle Mark, unless you tell me, don't call me for bail or some shit. Then she just turned around and walked away. It's totally what my family does. When my eyes light up and I got a little like idea in my head, they'll like say some shit to me like that, and then they just turn around and act like they don't flipping know me. So yeah, I went and screwed to them, and I went like, dude, half the force is here. Who the frick's out on the street? But yeah, we had this thing, Pumpkin Fest, man. It's like the biggest event. You know, they have a Christmas event, but Pumpkin Fest, everybody goes all out. And after the virus, man, this year it's amazing down there in Ukiah, downtown Ukiah right now. It's flipping amazing. There's over 100 booths. There's like every kind of vendor you could think of selling every kind of little trickety toy thing. They got a freaking Ferris wheel. They got like a hammer thing going. Yeah, there's like 5 rides down there in the middle of downtown. They shut the streets down and put the rides there and all these booths. It's freaking cool. And then, like, if I had the energy to go down later, it'd be full of drunk people, and I just don't do that. It's a good way to get in trouble. So yeah, I'm done for the day. I'm just gonna sit here and play some computer games. I love this computer game that I play. I just drive around a little PT boat and kill destroyers and yeah, I don't even have to see the dead bodies. I just see the ship sinking, so it's like it's kind of cool in my brain. No, I have no TV. I have not had a TV for over a decade. Um, yeah, I just don't do that. I either play my computer game or I'm working out, which is kind of like just rolling on the floor, laying on the balls kind of stuff, or going outside having a smoke, which is I do often. Like I said, the nicotine, it's like a little cult thing. Nicotine and marijuana is a true nicotine, not like cigarette nicotine. That's all sprayed and shit. See, that's why there's a lot of guys here growing their own tobacco because they believe in that, and that's what the Indians use. They used real tobacco with the marijuana, and so it's a spiritual belief thing that we're doing here. It's it, I don't know how I'm a part of it, but there's a thing going on here that I've always pushed for, and it's starting to happen. And in fact, Tuesday when I speak in front of the board of supervisors is going to be like a big day for me because I'm going to be speaking about those people and those farmers in particular, some of the real high level ones. And I already told them I was going to speak about them. Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's the Board of Supervisors meeting. They show it on YouTube live, so like you could watch me live on Tuesday morning at about 9:05. My ass will be walking up there, depending on the crowd. I mean, like sometimes there's picketing for right now the county workers want a contract, which I've spoke to already also twice, and yeah, I think you missed it. I was just talking earlier, I think right before you came on about Topotment, and you know a little bit about my Topotment, and I was talking about what it takes and how you go from that to this through your whole body and get the vibration evened out. And you take about a half hour, you know, you go from your toes up your legs, body, arms, head, or you can go head, arms, body, down. I like going down, up, but by the time I get down, I'm going up, down, even and out. the vibration as best I can. Anyways, that's the best detoxifier you'll ever do to yourself. Like when I do that to somebody, I can literally make somebody ill by kicking loose so many toxins with my Topoma. So if you do a half hour, you're getting aerobics for one, but you're getting circulatory and detoxifying effects that can't be matched by anything else, by any machine. I don't even think by another person. Yeah, well, also I was talking about earlier movement. My Tai Chi teacher Myra, I ran into her and living with pain. And it's just movement is medicine, and always going to have these broken parts. Because Myra's 80, and like talking about my knee that needs to be replaced, she totally understands because I think hers is probably about the same amount of damage, just really arthritic and lots of tears. Because each tear you have, you can like hear it pop over it, and if you're walking 10 miles a day, you're going through a lot, and it's only the amount of inflammation. If she had inflammation, she wouldn't be able to do that. And see where I get a lot of inflammation. So inflammation is a disease of its own, and inflammation is part of a cancer response. And I've always marked high on those things. And in fact, that's what this blood platelet thing is. They call it a cancer. I have no concern. It's just a word they use for an illness. Oh, I have too many platelets. It's freaking strange. You wouldn't believe it if you look it up, man. It's doctors even had to look it up. Tiny amount of people get it, but they actually get the other thing where they don't have enough platelets and they bleed easy. And I got like the opposite. I said, isn't it good? I got a whole bunch of platelets. I heal good. And they're like, no, they clot up and they go into your brain. And I'm like, oh, I think maybe some of those maybe have done that already. They call them ischemic strokes. And yeah, I don't even want to go down that road, but the doctors know that's where we're going. So actually, the doctors I saw this week, my GP and my pain doctor, that's what we talked about. Oh, absolutely, because yesterday the VA made my day, believe it or not. It was going to take me weeks, and I haven't even heard from the hematologist here in Ukiah. And I had called my VA general practitioner and told her what was going on. I didn't think she was going to help me out. She normally don't. I said, I need a referral to a hematologist so I can get to surgery as soon as possible. Well, sure as shit. Friday, they called, and it was a nice lady, and she was very concerned about me getting my surgery, and she was even more concerned about this thing, which she couldn't explain to me. And so I got an appointment November 2nd with a VA hematologist. And better than that, she was so nice that she had me call my surgeon's office and have those two connect so they could exchange records. So my surgeon and the VA are now working together to get my ass on the table. That's some shit. Last week, dealing doctors all day, every day. Just dealing doctors. And my surgeon was involved almost every day. They were calling, making contact. Yeah, they can get like that, especially if you're using the same one. I mean, I have a flipping half dozen doctors actively involved with me. Yeah, all mine are in a hurry too. I gotta say that, dude. When I get them, they forget a lot of stuff. I forget to bring up stuff. Like I don't come in with a sheet because I got so much stuff. I don't come in with sheets no more. I come in with specifics for a specific doctor. But at least again, I still forget stuff and they forget stuff. But in the end, by the time I'm going for a procedure, everything is usually, well, no, every time it's usually right. Yeah, no, the freaking checklist thing, no, it just doesn't work for me because my situation is always too fluid. It's always changing too fast. I don't write that many flipping notes. So yeah, 2 weeks, November 2nd, I find out what's going on. Well, I don't find out what's going on. I talk to the guy, and he's going to tell me what I already know, and then, oh yeah, that was the other thing. is they might go ahead and just blood test me again like next week. Like I might get the call anytime on Monday, Tuesday, to try to speed the process because they know that's the next step. Is they need more blood work and specific to this what this guy needs to look at because apparently this specific problem breaks down into other things and yeah, it's a very interesting freaking thing to have. It's either what they call essential long term in the bone marrow, or it's short term and was reactive to an inflammatory process. According to the book, that's the only other way it happens. Is if you have like extreme injury and inflammatory process, it can kick that thing off. So either I did that to it, or was I more likely thinking it's the bone marrow and it's been that way for a long time, and it got worse with an inflammatory process. That's what I think. And then nobody looked, and nobody looks for this kind of thing. So it was just a miracle I got this surgeon that checked for it. Can you believe that happened? Because these doctors been screwing with me doing tests for years and not done that test. And now that they're looking at that test, they're going, who the hell ordered that test? And some of them are going, what the hell does that number mean? And that's flipping scary. Because I sat there with my pain doctor while we both looked. Well, he looked it up. I told him, I already looked this up. Oh yeah, actually, like you said, it's not even a big deal because the caveat on this is I've run into at least two people that have this condition. One of them lives here in the building. You're on blood thinners. It's a dangerous thing. You're at risk for stroke and other things. But at the same time, it's not like it's going to kill you. It's just something that has to be managed if it's a long-term thing. And if it's a short-term thing, then they just, like I told them, you just need to drop the damn numbers so I can get the damn surgery. And even if it's long-term, same thing. You just pop me with blood thinners and get it evened out, and we do surgery. And then I'm on blood thinners for life. And I have to be a little more careful about how I push things. Because, man, I've been pushing things so hard this year, just right on past the stops until I was blacking out here recently. And that taught me a lesson. I was like, dang, I'm getting a little fuzzy to the earth here. Not time to go yet. Better calm down. Stroke that's like nothing else I've ever had to deal with. All right, man, have a good one. Take care of yourself. I love you, brother.